Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bangers Only. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy this one. Peace.
What's up, everybody? We're back again with the Arctic Monkeys
Hell yeah.
for the third and final episode.
Yep. We're gonna be looking at the last two albums, which is gonna be AM and then Tranquility Base Hotel. Did I say Tranquility weird?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was pulling up my notes.
Sorry. I just felt like I said it weird. Like I don't know. Sometimes I'm insecure about the way I talk. You know, Hubby.
Yeah, I mean, we have a podcast, so it's like,
I feel like I enunciate words stupid sometimes, and sometimes I just have to let it happen. But whatever.
I haven't noticed that.
No,
but maybe I feel like that's more me than you. But maybe we're overanalyzing because we are on a podcast.
Maybe, but we are on a podcast, so we should probably just get it going. I'm down.
Nice transition.
I'm down.
Okay.
Why you always point out the nice transitions, bro? Just fucking roll with it. God damn.
All right.
Let's go.
I was pointing that one out because it was like not that nice, but it was kind of funny.
But still, like, fuck. All right, AM. Let's run it back. Let's just run it. Let's do it.
Okay, so AM stands for Arctic Monkeys. Best album title.
I don't know why I have this like weird energy right now. Like I'm hyped for some reason. I don't know.
Hyped to get this over with.
Yeah, probably. I think it's what I'm more excited about. Like after this, like I don't really have to listen to this. Not like that it was bad. Not that it was bad. It's just like you know, I want to keep listening to like more artists, and like this is the third time we listen to them, and like it's just kind of like I want to keep like branching out and like diving into different people.
Yeah, definitely. Because also like we've listened to them so much, and it's like you don't want to like over listen in a way, and I feel like we're getting to that point where it's just like
it's hard.
Holy shit, they have so much music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's what I meant by like we can just like, get it out of the way, because like I don't want to like hear Arctic Monkeys and be like, no, I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna need a bit of time before I like listen to them for my own enjoyment.
100%, dude. But okay, let's kick it off. What do you want to start off with on AM?
Well, okay, so I think from a like broad like perspective, I feel like with this album they've kind of reached like peak fame in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of their popularity, like when this comes out, they're up there. And I kind of got that vibe just from the sound of the music too. Everything feels really tight production wise. It feels really clean, and it's a little weird because like the first two tracks especially, I'm kind of like, this kind of sounds like Arctic Monkeys, but it kind of doesn't. But it's like it's good too. Like I enjoyed those first two tracks a lot. And Do I Want to Know, I think we should know, is their like most popular song by a landslide.
Yeah.
And it's a good song.
No, it's a really good song. Like that's the song that I like first heard from them when they released it.
Yeah, me too.
What was this, 2013, dude? So long ago. Like but like this song is still good. This song still plays all the time. You know, and
yeah, it does.
And it's kind of crazy because like I as I was re-listening to this, I was realizing like, oh shit, like there's a lot of songs on here that like I know, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of popular cuts on this album, which surprised me as well, because I was recognizing some of these and I don't even like listen.
Yeah.
To them
they just
like
get played,
that, you know.
And it's really rare that like a lot of songs off an album are like well known and get played on the radio like that, you know.
Yeah.
Like singles, yeah, like, you know, Do I Want to Know, Are You Mine, they'll get played on the radio, but like there's other songs you're like, whoa, like I have heard this multiple times, you know. And then
yeah,
it was just cool to see that, at least for me.
No, yeah, I agree. And Do I Want to Know, I think it's like as an opener it's really good too, because like it's like a really dope sound for an intro. Like it's kind of imposing, and it establishes that like tone for the project, because it's like this kind of fun but like vibey, intense type of sound. And it's like I don't know. I really like it, like sonically. It just sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
But lyrically, I mean, it's not that complex. Like, it's pretty easy to interpret. You know, he's talking about like a relationship and how he doesn't really know what's going on in terms of like, you know, just that type of stuff.
One thing that I thought was funny is like he has this line where he says like spilling drinks on my like city, but like I thought he used to say city, like L.A. or Portland.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind I was like, oh, like she's drunk as fuck walking around like spilling all her drinks all over his city, But then as I like read the lyrics, it's not city, it's like city, which is an English term for what we call a love seat. So like she's spilling like drinks all over his couch basically.
Damn.
And like, and like the other not context, like the like what he's talking about is just like drunk. She's like kind of drunk calling him all the time in a way.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I want to know if like this goes both ways, He's like, because it's kind of like it's a weird dynamic they have.
Yeah, I think he's more like invested like with like the deeper emotions with her, and he's kind of like, I don't really know if you are, but he also doesn't want to know because I think it might hurt him. You know, and I don't know. That's just kind of like that whole like what they say like drunk words are like sober thoughts or something like that. I don't know if I butchered that.
Yeah.
But like I feel like that's what he's like saying. Like I'm just don't really want to know, but he also does, and that's why he's asking.
Facts. Yeah, exactly. And Are You Mine kind of they carry into each other pretty nicely, and it's again like about a relationship, and but this time it's like he's kind of stuck in the middle in terms of like knowing how the girl is feeling, and he kind of just like wants the satisfaction of hearing her, I guess, claim him in a way. Is kind of what I was getting, because that's like what he's saying. He's like, I want to hear you say like, "Are you mine?" or whatever.
But like this goes like I'm sure you can relate to this song. Like we as dudes, like we could relate to this. Like we talk.
No, yeah, for sure.
It's like you talk to a girl and like you're talking a lot, you're hanging out a lot, and it's like at some point you just want to know. You just kind of got to know, exactly. Like, are you mine, or like what's the move here? But it deals a lot with like insecurity, and it touches on like the insecurity topic a little bit, which is I think I just feel like girls don't understand that as guys we do have insecurities.
Yeah,
we're not gonna like.
It's just that guys like try not to show it.
Yeah, like it does, like it's not like we try to show it. Yeah, it bothers us, but it doesn't bother us to like a huge extent. We're just like we're insecure about things, but we're not gonna like spill it all out to you. But
yeah,
that's basically the summary of Are You Mine.
Yeah. And after these two tracks, I was kind of thinking like, is this album gonna be another one of those where it's like literally every song is about the same thing? And because we had gotten that in the past, and I mean this album like kind of did that, but like there were definitely tracks on here that were different.
For me, this project felt like a roller coaster of emotions. It sounded like honestly it could have just been like this one girl, right? And like every song like Do I Want to Know was more like like not like aggressive of a vibe, but it was very like just like straightforward, just like that, like constant like boom.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say, but I couldn't really articulate it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Like I mean, like I totally understood what you were saying. And then like Are You Mine is kind of like running through his head, like that's why the song is just kind of like moving fast. One for the Road. I don't know, like I just felt like this whole song is just a roller coaster of emotions for him. But it's like I feel like it's like for this one girl. I mean, and there's the song titled Arabella. It could be about this girl named Arabella, but like, it's crazy because then at the end, they ended with that song I Want to Be Yours, and we'll talk about that in a second. But like, it's just crazy. Like I get where you're coming from with all the stuff being about just a girl or relationships, but like I feel like this was like a complete like roller coaster in a way.
Yeah, no, like because I was thinking that at the beginning, but it definitely took turns that while revolving around the same subject, but doing it in an interesting way, which I think is crucial for projects like this. And they struggle with that with some stuff in the past, like Humbug. but that's just me. I mean, yeah, I really liked the track Number One Party Anthem.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's about like having a song that like accompanies a big moment, or like kind of hoping there is a song that like goes with the moment, because like he's saying like he could get like the courage to do something if there's like this song playing or whatever. And like it could be talking about like going up, getting the courage to talk to a girl or doing something else. But I like just the vibe, because it's kind of like a ballad in a way, and I don't know, it's different, you know. And there's nothing that really bothers me about this track or it makes me bored. I just really like it.
I really like the placement of it, you know, like of this song and Mad Sounds together. Like it, like they took a step back, you know, they take a step back right in the middle of the album. It kind of like in a way gives you time to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like you just kind of like it's a mental break. But like I think it was Mad Sounds, like, you know, I liked it because like the ooh la la that they were doing at the end.
You like that?
I thought it just was like mixed well, like stylistically, like I don't know, but the mixing and the production on that was really cool. Like it didn't, like everything was really in tune. There wasn't like, it wasn't overdone, and that was like big for me.
Yeah, facts. I like the mixing a lot on this track, and and like subject matter wise, I think this is a dope track as well. Like I can't disagree with anything that he's saying, because I totally understand what it is that he's talking about. He's talking about like how music can serve as a, I don't know, like a catalyst for helping you through things in a way.
And like,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, you know, for like people listen to music sometimes when they're sad, you know. And like some people say like, oh, don't listen to sad music, but like sometimes you need that to help you work out your emotions. You know, like that's what I do. Like I know it's probably a toxic thing to do, but like, you know, if I'm sad, I'm gonna listen to some sad shit, because
that's not toxic. That's very normal.
I feel like it is. I feel like it's like not self-destructive either, but it's just like, you know, why would you want to make yourself more sad? But for me, like, it's just kind of like,
the reason why I say that it's not toxic is because you're creating an environment that allows you to feel the emotion that you're already beginning to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it helps me sort through how I'm feeling if I like hear a relatable song that gets me in my feels as well. I don't know, but that's just me. Like sometimes whenever I like drive home from something fun or whatever, I always got the sad vibes on, you know, because it's like, I don't know, that's just how I'm feeling. And I like to kind of, it's almost like there's a soundtrack to your life or your moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why I feel like in a way I could be an easy person to read, you know, like if you hear what I'm listening to, you'll know what emotion I'm feeling, or you know how I'm doing, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you see me roll up in my car and I'm playing like some Chili Peppers, like, you know, I'm having a good day. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then like if I drive home, my mom, like I roll in, my mom can hear what I'm listening to. Like she can tell like if I'm upset or whatever, you know, just different vibes. But like, do you think it's more toxic to like when you're sad, you just decide to listen to like happy shit or like hype shit, or like?
Yeah, I think that's more toxic than
so?
listening to. I mean, personally, I don't think either is toxic. I wouldn't use that word, because I don't think music is a.
Do you think it's like? Do you think it's more damaging to yourself? I feel like that's better.
Depends. I mean, if you get like your heart broken by a girl for like completely valid reason, and you start listening to like, I don't know, fuck that bitch, that's a little destructive, because it's like that's not really how you should be thinking about this situation. Rather, go listen to like Marvin's Room or like Doing It Wrong by Drake. Like that's fine, because it's like acceptance, you know, rather than anger. It just depends on the song, honestly.
I guess.
But that's just me. I mean, I don't think music is destructive, regardless of what is being talked about. I think it's on the person for choosing to do what they will.
Facts. All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's what we got out of those tracks.
Yeah,
like the good discussion that came out of it,
which I think is cool. You know, like it's not just like sometimes we only talk about like the subject matter, but we also go in like a deeper conversation.
Yeah, I think that's crucial
Mm-hmm.
because it just like it helps us relate it to ourselves in a way.
Yep. And that's why honestly, like after listening to those two songs, Party Anthem and Mad Sounds, like then Fireside came up, and
I liked Fireside.
Yeah, and it's basically just about letting go of someone, knowing it's the right thing to do, but it'll still fucking hurt.
Yeah.
And like that happens to a lot of people. It's happened to me before. It's happened to a lot of people, and it's like sometimes it's going to be the right thing for you. No matter how much you like really want to be with that person or whatever, you just like gotta let it go.
Yeah, it's another really relatable track. Like just talking about letting go, like you were saying, but also like this is very good. Like music wise, this song is great. Like I love the drum pattern with that kind of tension building guitar riff, and that bass line is really sick.
Yeah,
and then that little mini guitar solo that comes in near the end of the track. I love it. It's simple, but it's a great instrumental. Mixed very well.
Then why do you only call me when you're high? Like straightforward as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Honestly, I didn't like this song very much. Because I felt bored while I was listening to it because of how I don't necessarily think like because of how straightforward it was is why I was bored, but more so like that it wasn't anything that I hadn't ever heard before. And that's kind of the problem that I've been having with the Arctic Monkeys is that like they do great new stuff on each project that's progressive and pushes their sound forward, but also they rely on techniques that they have used in the past that have worked for them, but are techniques that like really worked and can't really be replicated. And like when it comes to this track, I'm kind of feeling like I don't know. It's just nothing new. I don't enjoy the lyrics. The delivery seems like crammed, and it doesn't really fit in the song super great. I don't know. I mean, that's just me. The drums kind of got a little repetitive. This just wasn't one of my favorite tracks, which I think is important for me to say. Like, come at me if you want, everybody listening. But I mean, this album I know is a fan favorite, but for me, there were a few cuts on here I didn't like this song, and I wasn't honestly a huge fan of I Want It All either, because of the mixing of the vocals. I don't know if you noticed that, but they were super airy and distracting, for me at least.
Yeah, I felt like that song was just kind of chaotic.
Yeah, really and it just didn't sound good,
I feel like the lyrics, like the melodies of lyrics, didn't go with the guitars, and like
yeah, exactly.
It felt clashed.
Like it was all clashing in my headphones, and I was like, But while we're on the topic of tracks I didn't like, I was really sad that I didn't enjoy the final song on here. I Want to Be Yours.
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted to. Because album outros are always fun. I mean, they're always interesting. You never know what you're gonna get, but I found myself cringing during the verses. Like, man's literally said, if you like your coffee hot, I want to be your coffee pot.
Yeah.
I was like, bro.
Well, actually, basically what he did with this song, I read this on this song at least. It was he basically took a poem. It was like this poem that this dude wrote. I forgot the guy's name. But he basically was telling this person, like, all the lines that he was saying, he was basically giving the girl an object and then saying, like, like, he's like, he can be that, the use for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like he said, like, I want to be your vacuum cleaner or whatever. And then, like, he says, like, the purpose of the vacuum cleaner. And he's just saying, like, I can be anything you want me to be and I'll work for you in a way, But, like in the poem, he was doing the same thing. Like, he basically took the poem and used it, like, for, like, the song lyrics, and he kind of tried to make it work. Some of the shit, you're like, I get you. Like, some of the shit's like, what? Like, that's such a weird line. But, like, for me, artistically, he took the poem and he tried to use it as, like, a song. And I get it.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. But I don't, that doesn't really change anything for me, because I'm more talking about just, like, how the song ended up. and then the chorus is him just saying, "I want to be yours" over and over again, and
Yeah.
we hear it throughout the whole song, and it's like by the end, I'm like, bro, I understand that you want to be hers.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. Like, I understand that you probably enjoyed it more than me based on your reaction.
For sure. I really liked Knee Socks. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. I like Knee Socks as well.
Knee Socks was dope. It honestly might have been like my favorite one. Hear me out. Hear me out. It was simple, but it was kind of perfect, and he was able to like paint this picture of a girl wearing literally just his blue shirt and knee socks, and probably the whole time you're like, is she wearing anything else? You know, like that was my thing. I was like, I don't think she's wearing anything else, but like I fuck with this song. You know, I thought it was just dope.
I like the shaker in the background.
Yeah,
there's a shaker, and the bass line's sick too. I love the bass lines on this project. Intricate and nicely woven into each song.
Facts.
But
do you want to hear a quick fact about Snap Out of It?
Yes.
So their drummer Matt Helders, he actually broke his hand working on this project, and they were like, we can't take some time off. We got to just get this stuff going. So they called up Pete Thomas, who is the drummer for Elvis Costello, and he came in, and with this song, like Alex Turner, who's the lead singer for the Arctic Monkeys, like with this song Snap Out of It, he was like, nah. He was like, it was one of those songs that was like dead in the water. Like it was just kind of like, it's not gonna ever be anything, you know. And this guy Pete Thomas came in, heard it, and he goes, bro, this is something. Let's work on this. Let's do it real quick, you know. So they just kept rewriting it, and finally, like, this is what the project came out to be. And like, this isn't their drummer drumming; it's a different dude.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So like for me, like that was just kind of cool to like, you know, get that little tidbit and like see that happening.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that song because it felt really different. Like it felt pretty like popish, but it was like a welcome turn for me because I don't know, it just seemed like they had fun with it, and like the choppiness of it kind of made it interesting in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like the big reason too why this guy you know, Pete Thomas wanted to do it, he's like, dude, there's not songs, like he's like, he was trying to tell him like there's not that many songs out there like this, like telling someone just snap out of it. You know, in a way, like he was just trying to say, bro, like you got to do this, like the world needs this or some shit. And like they ended up doing it, and it sounded good, you know.
Yeah, I like that song. It's a good track.
But going back to like I Want to Be Yours, like I think it ends, like I get you, like you didn't like the lyrics, like for sure, but in a way, like I feel like that's where like the roller coaster kind of just like ends. You know, like for me, like the emotional, like there's so much going on in this, you know, and like, you know, there's times where he's happy, he's confused, he's insecure, you know. In Party Anthem, like he's waiting for the right moment to do something, you know. And then Fireside,
like that song was like the climax.
Yeah.
Almost.
And then Fireside, he's like, you know, he's like, I have to let go of you because it's the right thing to do for me. He's telling her to snap out of it, all this shit, you know. And then there's Knee Socks, you know. It's just like, I don't know. I think it was just kind of like a big roller coaster of emotions of a album. But like, I Want to Be Yours just kind of like chilled out. Like there wasn't much thought to it, you know. It's just he gave you an object, gave you the use for it, and said, I want to be that. And you're like, okay, you know.
Yeah, vibe wise, it definitely fits as an outro. Like it feels like everything's slowing down.
It just felt like it felt like an outro. Like I'd be content if they ended like a concert like that, just chill vibes. You know?
Yeah.
If that's how they want to end their main set, but then come out with an encore, I'd be happy. You know? Like I'd be cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's all I got. And yeah, any final thoughts on AM?
No, I don't. I mean, like I said, I enjoy this project. It's not my favorite though. I know it's a lot of people's favorites, but it's not mine. I'll just say that now. We're gonna rank our Arctic Monkey album opinions by the end of this episode, so stay tuned. But moving on to Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. This is an interesting one. It was I was a little confused for a big portion of this project because there was so much going on, sonically, lyrically, and for me personally, I loved it. It was incredibly synth heavy, which was new, and I fucked with it. Like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. When I first heard Star Treatment, I was like, wait, this is so different. This doesn't even sound like Arctic Monkeys. Like, the instrumental for that song is sick. It's very different and experimental, and it almost sounds like a flipped soul sample, the way they have those background vocals in there. And what all that I got out of it was that, like, it's kind of about dealing with that famous life and kind of reminiscing on the life before it, or like how media portrays people who are famous, and like what type of like self-doubt or like type of things that those artists have associated with the fame. And I'll just say off the bat, like, I can't really interpret all these songs because like I had a very difficult time interpreting what they were about, if I'm being honest. And I might, maybe I'm just stupid, but like, I don't know if you had that same problem. I have a feeling you did, because we talked a little bit prior to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I can really give my opinion on, like a adequate opinion on, is how these tracks sounded, and they sounded great in my opinion.
That is, it's kind of interesting to hear like your perspective from it, because you know, this, like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, they're coming off like hearing AM, and then now they're coming back, like, you know, a 5-year break, right? They're coming back with this album. And before, like, you know, I even listened to this album and I told people, like, oh, yeah, we're talking about the Arctic Monkeys. They're like, ooh, have you talked about Tranquility? And I'm like, no, not yet. They're like, good luck. I'm like, okay. You know, I'm like, what? We'll see. And, like, people just told me it's iffy. And, like, some, like, you know, I know some fans are, like, you know, they're not, like, diehard fans, but they like the Arctic Monkeys. And they're like, it's whatever, you know. And so the hardest part for me was to put those thoughts aside and put everything that I've been told about it and just, you know, listen to the music and appreciate the music for what it is. So, like, that was the hardest thing I had to do, you know, trying to be, like, open-minded in a way, you know, and, like, I think I can be pretty open-minded when I listen to music. But, you know, then I started listening, like, to Star Treatment, and, like, off the bat, I didn't really like their production. Like,
really?
Like, the instrumentation was cool, but just the effects they used, it just felt too overdone. Like, I didn't like the reverb, the delay, the EQ of the vocals on Star Treatment. Like, it just felt like too much, and it felt very, like, amateur in a way. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it sounded in my head. Like, there was too
That's
much.
fair.
It was like the de-esser was really whack. Ooh, I don't know, man. I didn't like it.
On the vocals for that track, I didn't really have anything special to say, but what I was mainly caught off guard by was the instrumental.
Yeah,
and
it was definitely
how incredible it
bro.
was. Like, and for me, I think what was important was to not think of this as an Arctic Monkeys album, because, you know, for me personally, like, think about it this way. How would you feel if they just stuck to the formula again for their 6th album in a row?
No, yeah, I would be very upset. I'd be like, really, bro? Come on. You know?
Like, what if, I'm glad they switched it up.
Yeah, I'm glad they switched it up. But he still tried to sing the same way.
I know, yeah, his voice, I found myself being like, I'm not sure how I feel about Turner's vocals on these tracks.
And, like, he didn't really switch up how he writes his like vocals and like how he writes lyrics. You know, he just writes them the way he wants to and what he knows, like his own formula. You know, and it just, the music was so different. I just didn't feel like it matched.
At times I didn't, but at times I did.
Yeah, there was times where like it actually like worked out, but like I don't know. But what I liked about Star Treatment, all right, what were we gonna say? My bad.
I don't remember.
Oh, what I liked about Star Treatment was the fact that he was talking about like all the shit he's done in his past, and he's just justifying it by his fame, calling it like the Star Treatment, you know? And again, for me hearing that, I was like, bro, like this is exactly like another perspective, you know, when we talk about The Weeknd, how he blames shit and like, yep, sorry, like I am the way I am because of this, you know, and like, he's always justifying himself, and like, you know, he's not like, you know, apologizing in this song either. He's just like, this is what I've done, but it's all because of the fame. You know, if you can't deal with it, like, it's not my problem. But it was again cool to see, like, you know, a perspective of something between two different people from two different genres. You know,
yeah.
Again, it was.
No,
really
I agree,
cool. And I kind of like this format because we get to like bounce back and see, like, because sometimes they do talk on the same subject matter, and you're like, okay, how do they view it? How are they gonna talk about it? And like, what are they gonna say that's different? How are they gonna do it uniquely? I don't know. It's just cool.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like how I was feeling with this project, was that like it was unique, and then, you know, the second track, 1 Point Perspective, is another. What?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Jesus,
Bro,
we've never had this big of a disagreement, because that track was one of my favorites on here.
I didn't like his enunciations.
You're caught up on his vocals.
I am, because I fucking, like, that's the reason I listen to the Arctic Monkeys, because I know he's fucking good, you know. And then like this song, just like the way like they were, like the vocals were just produced, like it was so, like he said every single syllable, he said every single T, K, and like I can appreciate that, but it was just like, bro, like I got bored, I got annoyed. It was just too poppy in my ears. Maybe I should have like lowered the volume a little bit more. I'm not sure, you know, because I don't blast the music, like it's at a decent level so I can hear everything, but it still got way too much, and I didn't like it. That was just me.
For me, like I had to. What I enjoyed doing was Turner felt like he was on the back burner in this project vocally. Like I feel like the production of the instrumentals and all the other instruments outshined him on nearly every track. I don't know. I just really like that second track because it has a dope guitar solo, and it's overall another incredible instrumental, like I said. And like it's kind of about like coming to reality when you're like dreaming big, and like how reality can kind of like destroy those dreams for you in a way. And it's almost kind of saying, like in a cynical metaphor way, that like the dreams that you have when you're like younger will never really come true. And it's so complex, and it's like in the lyrics and in the instrumental, it kind of reminded me of like the direction that Denzel and Kenny Beats went with Unlocked after Zoo, because because of how, I don't know, I really liked the production on these tracks, not on the vocals. I know that wasn't great, but for everything else I feel like it was really good.
And I can agree with you on that. Like earlier you said, you know, Turner, it was kind of like on the back burner, and like, you know, you say that and I realize like, oh, you know what, like you're actually right. Like I didn't think about that, because I think for me I was just so used to him like just doing his thing, you know. Like it kind of felt like the rest of the guys were there, you know, to back him up, and now it's like, you know, they're showing like their musicianship, and he's just kind of like, all right, I'll roll with it, you know.
Yeah.
But what I thought was also kind of weird too is like this was one of the albums that I think he like completely co-produced. Like he had a lot of hands-on on this.
Well, maybe that's why he made beats that like, or not beats, I'm talking about it like that, but he helped make tracks that sounded in a way that like didn't require him to shine or be the front man, you know. And he's putting a lot of energy into how those tracks are sounding versus how he sounds on the tracks, you know what I mean? So his energy's going in a different place, if that's what you're telling me about him co-producing it, which I think is pretty cool. I really like the track, the title track, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. I have no idea how to interpret this song. I'm gonna be real, but part of me feels like he's kind of trying to figure it out too, because he's trying to like understand the world and like, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know. This is another track I really like how it sounds. I wasn't a huge fan of American Sports. Um, I liked Golden Trunks because it's like a romantic song, one of the few on here, but it's like very different, and it's not like your typical one from the Arctic Monkeys. Um, and like it's very strange, like musically, and has that distorted guitar and that synth bass that's paired with the real bass, and it's like I don't know. That's
Sounds
kind
like
of what I got from
old.
that.
Like it sounds like it could have been like one of the movements out of like Bohemian Rhapsody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It kind
yeah.
of felt like it could have been there. Um, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool too. Like I mean, I liked this one too. I think this might be like one of like my better ones, like the ones that I could stand.
Golden Trunks.
Yeah, just like I don't know. Like I like the difference in this. Like this was like a step for me, like in like a different change that was also really good.
Yeah.
4 out of 5 was like literally was just an advertisement for their hotel.
Yeah, it was kind of like what.
Yeah,
it was a weird track.
it wasn't like there's no complexity to this. I think in my mind, it was just straight up like an advertisement, a 5 minute 12-second advertisement for their hotel.
Maybe I'm sure there was something else to it, but I did not have the bandwidth to try to understand. I mean, yeah, I agree. That wasn't one of my favorite ones on here. The song "Bat Phone,"
I love it.
It's a good one, but lyrically, it kind of made me. He was like kind of going full on old head on this track.
Yeah,
because he's all talking about like technology and how like he doesn't like where it's going, and like or whatever, criticizing it, and like, bro, you kind of sound like an old head right now.
yeah. But I like the reference like of like the bat phone. You know, it's like a little bit of a Batman reference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's that call that you're gonna take over any other call. And like he's saying he's gonna wait by the bat phone for her call. And the line that I thought was kind of funny too is like, you know, when he said like he can recognize like her headlights through the like the shades. Like he knows when it's her headlights and like nobody else's, whatever. And like I feel like that's like true for a lot of things. Like, you know, like sometimes I'll be in my living room and I can see like I know when it's my mom's car versus my dad's car versus like my car coming in. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like it's just like you can tell like certain things, and he can tell that. You know, he's just paying attention to those little details.
Bro, my dog. So I park on the parking strip, which is kind of it's like a little bit from my house because like it's not right up against my house. And whenever I pull up, my dog could be anywhere in the house, and he'll always come to the door because he knows what my car sounds like, which is crazy. But yeah, that just made me think of that.
Yeah, like dogs do that, and that's crazy. Like my dogs know when I'm coming home. Like when I come home from work, like my mom will tell me that like before I even drove in the driveway, they were already getting up and trying to get out their bedroom because they knew I was coming home. You know.
Yeah.
Ultra cheese, bro.
I like the style of this track.
I liked
I like
it.
the ballad. It's interesting. It didn't seem. It's weird though, cause like this track didn't seem to go anywhere. Like it didn't have a hook. Like
yeah,
it just
was
had
kind of
like
like just he was just feeling it, you know.
he was just vibing. But
And like in my interpretation, like because for me, here's the thing, I felt like this whole album was written with like the mindset that it's in like its own universe, and it's like this universe is on like the moon because like, you know, tranquility, like there's that sea of tranquility on the moon, right? And like Tranquility Base Hotel, like they basically turn that base into a hotel, and I think he talks about that in, I forgot which, I think it is Tranquility Base Hotel or it's Ultra Cheese, I don't remember, but he's like, he basically said like you won't remember that base, you won't remember it looking like a base or something like that. And like,
you know how people say the moon is like cheese?
yeah, and that's why I think it's like ultra cheese, you know, like that theory, it's like made of cheese, like he's calling it the ultra cheese, and that's why I thought it was
cheese,
funny,
bro.
you know, like I liked it. It was just a hilarious like you know, title for a track. Just call it the ultra.
I think you got it like interpretation wise, but like what's funny to me is like why?
Yeah.
Like why would they think of this? Like, what is the significance between this moon hotel?
Yeah, but I think that's something that we would not understand. It's not going to make sense to us because we're not like on the moon and at the Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, you know? Like,
Facts.
I feel like he's writing it like this one was written for the people that are going to be there. you know, those kind of people that are just like, for some reason they're just chilling on the moon, you know, and like it would for some reason it makes sense to them, but for us on Earth, like it just doesn't.
Maybe it's kind of like a metaphor for like his like posh lifestyle, but it's kind of like looking down at people as like a famous person. Like he's all the way up to the moon, but it's like kind of lonely in a way. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
No fucking idea.
I don't know, but I don't really have anything else to say about this album.
Arctic Monkey fans who told Adrian this album was bad, stay sleeping on this album.
They didn't tell me. They didn't say it was bad. They were just like, eh. Like, I was like, what does that mean? They're like, Bro, it's different.
They're sleeping on it. I swear. No, album is good. I swear it's good.
Yeah. All right, man.
I like it, bro.
You ready to rank them?
I am ready to rank them. You wanna?
Let's say should we do like all your 6 and then all my 6, or like, you know, our like number 6 together and then like move up from there?
But then we're gonna like forget like how we ranked, or like the listeners are gonna be like, wait, what was your?
You say all your 6 then.
Okay.
Start with 6 and then go 1.
Yeah. So my least favorite of all the Arctic Monkeys albums was Humbug. Because it's just like depressing and was not fun to listen to, and I didn't enjoy it when I was listening to it. I'm gonna be real, like there were songs that I like, but go back and listen to what I was saying about that album, because I explain it. I'm not gonna go in depth on why I ranked these the way I did, because y'all heard my opinions on them already, because we've recorded like hours of us talking about these projects. But yeah, and what's your 6th one?
My 6 was Humbug.
Ah,
yeah, we agreed. We agreed tonight.
I thought it was gonna be Tranquil.
No, it wasn't. No, okay, like, I mean, like I told you, like I did my best to go into it with an open mind, and that's why it's not the last place, because I can appreciate the fact that they tried. They totally went in a new direction, and like it's not.
They succeeded. They didn't try.
There you go. I mean, like, our own opinions. You always say to each their own, whatever.
Bro, no, I agree though. Like,
it threw me off. Dude.
He sounded weird on those beats.
Yeah,
because they were almost like, the reason why I say beats is like they almost felt like experimental hip hop instrumentals.
Yeah, they felt
like some Earl Sweatshirt shit.
They felt
like,
weird, and like.
But I liked them so much. I liked them. Like, I really, really liked how Star Treatment sounded. But anyways.
Yeah. All right. What's your number 5?
My 5th was Suck It and See.
Ooh.
And Suck It and See, y'all are just gonna have to go back and listen. I can't give a summed up reason why I feel that way, but it's not so much that I didn't like this project like I didn't like Humbug. It's more that the other projects after this one I liked more.
Okay. For me, my number 5 was Humbug. Just like,
wait, what? You said your 6 was Humbug.
No. Oh, my bad. My 5 was Tranquility. My bad.
Oh, I was like,
my
wait.
bad. Yeah, it's over 6 and 5. No, yeah, mine was Tranquility, and like it's not because I didn't like it. I mean, like I liked it as music. I liked it, but like it just it threw me off. I tried my best to not listen to what people said. I think I still let it get to me in a way, and we talked about it. His vocals, just like it was just weird. For a little bit, like,
it's underrated still.
Okay,
y'all sleeping.
All right, I'm gonna give it another listen for sure. You know me.
I think this is the project you gotta listen to like for a year, just over and over again.
Well, I'm gonna take a break after this episode from them
me
for a
too,
little, and then I'll come back. I'll come back. Imagine like 20 years from now, I come back and I'm like, oh shit, this thing slaps.
It's the best album of all time.
Imagine, goddamn.
No, but
right, 4.
Okay, my 4th was AM.
Okay. I think for me, I put my 4th as Favorite.
Okay.
Just because I think if they didn't have 505 on that, like it would have just sucked. I think.
I agree, honestly.
Like if they didn't have 505, just for me, like 505 is what saved it, and I think I really like that song a lot, and that's why it's in my number 4 slot.
I think that because I had read something too that like a lot of people really fucked with this album, but me personally, like it felt super repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I liked it more than AM, Suck It and See and Humbug. So, and the reason why AM is my 4th is because I don't know, it didn't feel like anything new and it felt really clean. And you know how I am about stuff that is just when artists release a project that I feel like would have came out, you know, like a while ago, and I wouldn't have been surprised. Aside from like those first 2 tracks on there, it didn't feel like anything new. My number 3 is Favorite Worst Nightmare.
My number 3 is AM. Just because I like a couple songs off there, like, you know, that's what got me into them. You know, and it's not my favorite, I think, but like it's a very straightforward album, I think, but like it just has that like nostalgia factor. I hear a lot of these songs and I'm like, I think I'm 13 again.
Bro, it's almost like listening to Tranquility and AM for the same episode is kind of like the Kissland and Beauty Behind the Madness episode.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of how different the projects are.
For sure, yeah. Like I felt that.
And AM is a lot like Beauty in the sense of like what it is for the artist.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, our 3s and 4s were just swapped. Yeah. It sounds like.
Oh well.
My number 2 was Tranquility. Y'all know why.
Yeah.
Y'all know.
My number 2 is Whatever People Say, That's What I'm Not. And I honestly, like, for me, it's there because I liked, like, it was their first one, you know, and for me it was really cool to hear, like, you know, the Arctic Monkeys, like, this is what they put out first, you know, knowing what I've heard on the radio and like hearing that, like, I was like, wow, this is pretty good stuff, you know, like I can see why they've made a name for themselves. And there's just some pretty good songs out there. I think I liked, like, the production wasn't like the highest, you know, it was pretty like gritty and stuff, but I still liked it. I think for me, I always like first projects, you know, they just have like that rawness to them, and then for me it just gets me excited because I'm like, wow, they're just gonna get better. Mm-hmm. You know, that's for me. That's why I think it's it's like second.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Drumroll. My number 1 is that album.
Yeah, your number 1 is that album.
And it's kind of weird putting like someone's first album as your favorite because it's kind of sad in the sense that like they didn't improve. They definitely improved from this album. I will say that, but that doesn't mean it's not my favorite. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This album, like you were saying, like, I don't know. There's just something about it. Like, I feel like the production doesn't need to be anything crazy for it to be really good. And for me, what made it my number 1 was that final track on there, A Certain Romance. That track is beautiful. I love how it closes out the album.
Yeah, my favorite track, I think what made it for me was Riot Van. Just that chill vibe right in the center of the project. Just like, I don't know, it was so good. And I think these songs had didn't they have like good transitions? I don't remember.
Yeah, they did.
They had some pretty fucking cool transitions. It was from wasn't it from like Riot Van? I don't know. It was one of them.
Maybe.
They had some cool transitions, and I was like, oh, that's pretty, like, it was sick. You know, for what project? This was 2006? God damn, like, this shit was popping. Like, I don't know. If they dropped this today, it probably would be my favorite. You know, like, I'd be like, wow.
It'd still be banging.
It'd still be
and
so
Alex
good.
Turner was 19 when it dropped, so.
Exactly. Like, bro, like, our age, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, dope. And then number 1 for you is this one, right? You said Whatever People Say.
Yeah, that's
what I'm not. Yeah, for me, it was Suck It and See. Because
interesting.
Like, bro, I just love, like, I told you this, like, when I first heard it, like, I fucking loved the like the production. Like, it was just so clean. You know, like, I think it was their second, no, it was their fourth. So like, I was just like, I fucked with it. There wasn't muddiness. I felt like they were finding their sound. Like they found their sound, I think, in Suck It and See. You know, like what works for them, like what they like to do. I guess like vocal chains and like, you know, all their like presets. You know what I'm talking about? Like that production side of it. They found it, and they just kept improving on it from there. I like that they had their drummer lead a song. He sang vocals, which was pretty dope. I liked like the metaphors in this more. Like the subject matter was very like, you know, pretty like basic, but the metaphors was pretty dope in my mind.
I liked the pulling the chair out song. I don't remember what it was called, but it was about pulling your chair out. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. My number 5 was your number 1.
Yeah. Trippy like that. But
otherwise, I think our rankings were pretty close to one another, but they were definitely different.
Yeah.
Aside from Humbug.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, like, it was a journey. This was definitely a journey.
It was.
But it's cool.
How do you feel? We're done.
I feel good. Like, I feel good. I feel like I don't know if it did it complete justice, you know, because this was new to us. Like, I've never like listened to these guys before, like in depth.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting. You know, a lot of songs I haven't heard, so it was cool. Like I know these songs now. You know, like a couple months from now, I might be like, you know what, I'm gonna play Suck It and See just because I want to. You know, and I can re-listen.
Play Tranquility.
Exactly, play Tranquility. Like it's good that like now I have these in my arsenal. I know what these things sound like. I can just play them.
Yeah, like if someone says something, like I feel confident to discuss it. You know.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job.
I think we did too. I like this format. I think we should keep it going. You know, it's pretty good stuff.
I like it a lot.
Definitely everyone should let us know if they liked it too.
I don't know. People who know the Arctic Monkeys like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
Need to tell us how we did. And people need to recommend more artists because it's just what we choose nowadays.
Yeah, we've been choosing. But it'll be cool. Like, but the thing is, like, we choose and people give us good feedback. You know, like people fuck with The Weeknd. People really fuck with Frank Ocean. You know, yeah. I know people that really like the Dominic Fike and Rex Orange County album. I think honestly, like that was a really good episode. Like, just those two. That was a great episode. Was solid.
I still think that our best ones were either the Denzel Weekend Part 1, Weekend Part 2, or the Hans Zimmer Dark Knight.
Dude, that was dope. Score. Hell yeah.
Those were some really good episodes.
But you know what we got next week?
Part 3 of The Weekend.
Part 3. Are we gonna finish it up or like what do we do? We'll talk.
I think we finish it up with the long one because we got 3 more projects to talk about.
Hopefully we have enough time, bro.
I mean, one of the projects is only 6 songs, and it's kind of like not that deep.
Well, I hope we have enough time to do it. We'll see how it goes, bro.
We'll see.
But I think it's gonna do it for us. You got anything else, man?
No, I feel good about how we led this discussion.
For sure. Well, that's gonna do it for us. As always, I'm Adrian.
I'm Clark.
And we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.